I have 10 places where you can find your ancestors' photographs. We're going to jump into that here in just a moment, but first let me introduce myself. My name is Connie Knox. I'm a lifelong genealogist here to help you go further, faster, and factually with your family research. Now, I work really hard to put out these videos, and I hope that if you are getting something of value out of these videos, that you will consider subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it really does help me out a lot. So if you could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. All right, don't forget that Genealogy TV also has a Facebook page and a newsletter and a website at genealogytv.org. Links for everything we talk about, including that information, is in the show notes below. All right, we're going to jump into it right now. Well, of course, you know, probably the number one place to look is with your family. So that's kind of a no-brainer. So we're going to jump on to number 2. Okay, so number 2 is death notices, obituaries, and sometimes, more often, if somebody was killed in an accident, you would find their photograph in the paper. This one is from Family Search. As you can see, this has an image of someone who had passed away. Keep in mind dates too, because think about photographs weren't around until what, the late, really got popular in the late 1800s, but really didn't start getting into newspapers in this fashion until the 1900s. So just be mindful of that when searching in obituaries and funeral notices. Okay, number 3 is military records. Now, the one that you see here is from Ancestry.com, and this happens to be California World War I soldier photographs from 1917 and 1918. There's not a lot in this particular collection, but I happen to find this one. So as you can see, he's a handsome fellow. So make sure you're looking in military records for photographs. Okay, number 4 is social media groups. Now this could be things like Flickr, Pinterest, Instagram. I like Facebook for this because, well, as you can see, this is a Facebook group. This is a genealogy surname group that I created specifically for the Madsen-Johnson line in my family. And so I have invited cousins who are descendants of that group, and we have shared photographs back and forth. So social media is another place you should be looking for photographs of your ancestors. Before we jump on to number 5, I wanted to let you know that I have created a list of all of these resources. If you would like that list, it is a downloadable list of all these resources that I'm talking about here today. I will leave a link for you in the show notes below to sign up to get a copy of that free resource for your photographs. Well, number 5, of course, is world trees. If I didn't mention the trees that are out there on places like MyHeritage, as you can see here, here's a profile page for this woman. They also have photographic collections over there at MyHeritage. Of course, the world tree at Family Search, has a photograph in, if they're available, photographs in the profiles as well. I find that's interesting on Family Search. I don't find as many photographs in the tree, especially when you start surfing around in the various trees. I just find that people don't upload photographs, my experience only, on Family Search as much as, say, Ancestry.com. And of course, don't forget that the tree at Ancestry.com, there are plenty of photographs that you'll find in the profiles and in the galleries there as well. Okay, this one is immigration applications and passports. These are great resources to find your family in photographs. And this particular one is a gentleman who is in his passport application, as you can see here. Also, I have another example here. This is a beautiful photograph of this woman in her passport. You can even see the emblem in the lower corner there where her passport was embossed. So check out passports for your family photographs. Okay, we're up to number 7. Number 7 is FindAGrave and BillionGraves. A lot of people put photographs up on FindAGrave and BillionGraves. In fact, it's really kind of a great place to go look because there are a lot of photographs up there if you're lucky enough. Now, not always portraits. Sometimes there are photographs of the tombstones, which is pretty popular. That's the whole purpose of FindAGrave and BillionGraves. But occasionally you'll find a photograph that's an actual portrait. So remember to upload your photographs there if you are using FindAGrave and BillionGraves, because that's another great resource for everybody to help share photographs. Number 8 is prison records. Now this is coming to us from Ancestry.com, but I thought this was one of the coolest finds. When I was looking around for photographs to do this segment, I came across this page, and of course it just, look, you get profiles and a straight-on shot. So this is a great place to find your ancestors. If they happen to be in prison, you might actually find their records. Now, number 9 is the Library of Congress, and you can find that at loc.gov, and I'll leave a link to this page in the show notes below. Now, it might be a little bit more challenging to find your family or a specific portrait in this collection, but it's worth taking a look. As you can see, they have family collections and portraits of famous people and photographs from various towns around the country. So you might find not only the family portrait or family groupings, but you may also find pieces of history at the loc.gov. All right, we made it to number 10. Number 10 is my favorite. I saved the best for last, and that is yearbooks. Now, yearbooks are becoming more popular all the time online with Ancestry and MyHeritage. This particular one is over at MyHeritage. I happened to come across this, which I thought was hilarious, but it's kind of cute. And well, that's at MyHeritage. And now I know there's a lot of collections opening up on Ancestry.com because I have been getting the press about it. But here's a handsome fellow that we found just as an example of a portrait that you can find in the yearbooks. What I did was I went up to the search card catalog and I keyword yearbook, and then you can drill it down by place. You can also search by name, which might be an opportunity. I also, in the yearbook collection, came across some sailors from the US Navy support books, and this group of guys, I love these glasses. Look at these nerdy glasses. So that is your 10 places to find portraits of your ancestors. I hope you enjoyed that. If you like that, if you found anything about that helpful, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, I hope you would consider subscribing. It really helps me out a lot and doesn't cost you a thing, as I mentioned before. All right, don't forget that Genealogy TV has a website at genealogytv.org, and a newsletter and a Facebook page. All those links, again, are in the show notes below. All right, it's time to go find your ancestors' photographs. Until next time, keep on climbing your family tree.